Full disclaimer, I used to be a janitor. So I don't know what you guys did for a living, but I used to like change light bulbs and stuff. So that was my job.
You're listening to Business Lunch with Roland Frasier. This is your seat at the table.
Adam, do you want to introduce yourself and tell everybody who you are and what you do? And I'd love for you to tell your story, because I give a horrible rendition of how you acquired the gaming store after your son came home and told you that it wasn't going to be there anymore. But I know that story played out to be a whole bunch of things. So,
oh my God. Yeah. When it first started, Roland, like I remember telling you about it and I was like, oh, I got no idea what's going to happen with this. Now it's stupid. Like the original story, I was like, this is a pretty cool story. Now it's insane. So yeah. Hi guys, my name's Adam. I'm Roland Frasier's biggest fanboy. Pretty much. That's my official title. I've said this before in numerous posts. That man's like completely changed my life. And what you guys know of as like the epic model is basically Roland's thought pattern on anything. It just so happens that he's applying it here to being able to acquire businesses. He completely changed the way that I think about things and running business. Full disclaimer, I used to be a janitor. So I don't know what you guys did for a living, but I used to like change light bulbs and stuff. So that was my job. But through learning and through Roland and a whole bunch of other stuff and lots of lessons, I ended up learning his method of acquisition. And my favorite acquisition, because most of my company I grew by acquiring my competitors' companies or my competitors' assets. To put this in perspective, last year I acquired 250,000 leads for $0 down. Thank you very much, Roland. From my competitors, I would go in, take their leads off them for no money whatsoever down, and it was incredible. So that's I've never seen an ad spend that compares to what I can do by acquiring my competitors' businesses. And, just imagine, I don't know what impact that would have on you, but if you could acquire your competitors' leads off of them and have them say thank you afterwards, because all my competitors are happy about it. None of them were like, oh, Adam stole them, because I didn't. I bought them off them and they're very, very happy. I just bought them by paying them in advance later, which is one of the best phrases Roland ever taught me. So, but this particular deal is one of my absolute favorites. Because all my children know about what I do is dad fixes businesses, right? That's what dad does. And my kids are all, my eldest is 11 now. He was 9 at the time. So my kid every Wednesday plays Dungeons and Dragons at the local Dungeons and Dragons store. I'm a nerd. And he comes to me and said, Dad. And he's crying. I'm like, what's up, bud? And he's like, they're going to shut down the Dungeons and Dragons store. Fix it. And I'm looking at my 9-year-old and my 9-year-old's like, Dad, you got to fix this. And I'm doing $1 million deals. This Dungeons and Dragons store has like 3 kids in it at any time. Most of them don't buy anything. But my kid is like looking at me like, no, this is like the most important business in the world to him. So I'm like, sure, I'll fix it. So I walk down to the local store with my son the next day. I'm like, hey, I hear your company's for sale. The guy's listed it on Craigslist, by the way, for 25 grand. He's listed it on Craigslist. And I'm like, I'm open to buying it. I'm interested. And I was like, but I need to have a look at the books. So his books, he hands me, I don't know if I've told you this, he hands me like a legal pad that he's drawn out some numbers for the last couple of months. And that's like his books. And this whole thing is just a nightmare. And I'm like, I'm not going to give you 25 grand for this. He's losing $1,000 a month. Like it's making like 5,000. No, it's making 4,000 and it's costing him 5. I was like, this is such a bad deal. I was like, but if you go bankrupt, there'll be nowhere for the children in our town to play games. And there is nothing else to do in this town. I assumed everybody instantly would join a gang or do drugs if this store closes down, because I'm a dad and that's where my head goes. So I was like, this is basically, we've got to think of the children. You can't let the store close down. And the guy's like, I'm not going to sell it for less than 25. And so this is a technique you guys are going to learn a lot through the Epic, if any of you guys do Epic, which is don't take a bad deal, but be willing to wait. So I was like, look, I want the deal. I really want to do it. I don't want to do it at this price. I want you to be happy about doing the deal. So here's what I'll do. My offer's real. Don't go bankrupt. If it gets worse, call me, but I'm around. Hopefully you'll sell it to somebody else. And if not, call me. So I go in every month. Now, I got to be honest with you, his wife goes and hangs out in the store. And maybe while my kid was playing D&D, I got talking to his wife and I asked her how she feels about losing $1,000 a month. I might have said that. I think I probably did. And his wife was definitely not happy about losing $1,000 a month and wishes he'd sell it. And I was like, oh, it's a shame because I wanted to buy it and would buy it, but not losing money every month. And so that may have had a factor. I don't know. All I know is that 3 months later, he suddenly wants to sell it. And the original price that I offered was $10,000, which is the price of all of the stock inside the store. I basically was just going to buy the stock, right? Because that's the only value. The business loses money. And so he comes back 3 months later and he goes, done, $10,000. How many of you think that I accepted the $10,000? No, hell no, I didn't. I said I'd buy it for the value of the stock. I was not going to trust that 3 months later, the value of the stock was still $10,000. So we did another stock check. Turns out it's only worth $5,000 now. And so I said to him, here's what I'll do. I will pay you $5,000 via deferred advance. I don't know how Roland comes up with these phrases. Deferred advance basically sounds like you're going to pay him in advance, but it means you're going to pay him later. It's like, what? I just love him so much. So the guy goes, I accept your deferred advance. I'm like, great. So we're going to have payment terms then, and I'll pay you $1,000 a month starting in 30 days. And he goes, okay. I was like, but I'll take the lease over right now. And he goes, great. So we walk to the office. He can't wait. Within an hour, he signed over the lease to me. And I've got all this stock. So I've now in control of the whole game store within hours. All the paperwork's done because he just can't wait to get out of it. And I'm going to owe him $1,000 in 30 days and then another $4,000 over time. Now, what I love about this deal is because I'll talk to people about 7-figure deals, 8-figure deals, because I've negotiated some of those quite recently. I did a $10 million deal. And someone's like, Adam, why do you always talk about the $5,000 deal? I was like, if you could buy $1 million business for $5,000, don't you think that would be the best deal to talk about? As opposed to the 7-figure deals where you're spending 7 figures to get 7 figures, right? I would much rather pay $5,000 for $1 million business. By the way, this business is worth $1 million now. And wait till you hear this. Yes, I'm not kidding. So I go in, I liquidate all the stock on eBay. Straight away, we sell everything. Turns out he's got a bunch of collector's items because he hasn't sold things for so long. And we actually made like $5,100. So I made $100 initially. But with the $5,000 in capital, we then went to the most important resource that we acquired, which are the 400 customers inside the customer checkout system, the Square system. Contacted the 400, said, what do you want us to stock in the store? The customers told us what to buy. We took the $5,000 and we bought all the stock they wanted. And that's how we built it. So we started building it. And then I would talk to Roland. I'd be like, dude, we did $6,000 this month. We made 1,000. And we kept going and it got bigger and bigger. And there are other reasons why I was comfortable doing this deal. I actually wanted parking spaces and it came with some parking spaces. There was all these ancillary benefits. But it got really interesting towards the end of last year when Tesla announced that they're opening a silly little factory outside of our town. And the Chamber of Commerce contacts me and says, you've got the only gaming store in the town. You should be aware that we're getting 20,000 new people moving into our town within the next 2 years. Now, everyone's cheering, yay, new people, customers and sales. My inner Roland is having a heart attack because I'm thinking my rent's going to go up. And I don't want my rent to go up because that would make me kill my profit margin. So I'm like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And we're in the middle of COVID, right? Which, by the way, I did not anticipate when I bought the store, which was a whole other story. And so I'm like, there's a commercial property dip. Let's buy a building. So we then leverage the business and get a mortgage through the game store. And then we get a deposit through another investor. So no money down. And we buy a giant commercial 2-story brown brick building in the middle of this town. I can see Hannah's asking, in Bastrop, Texas. It's just outside of Austin. So we now bought this giant building that because of the commercial property dip was only $500,000. But within the next 2 years, the projection is this thing will be worth $1 million.